everybody, and good Saturday to you. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm. An update on our potentially pretty bumpy weather as we get into the afternoon today. I'm recording this video at about 11:35 a.m. We're going to talk about the potential for some severe weather, but generally it'll be very windy across the valley as we get into the second half of our Saturday, and pretty warm as well. The surface map as of, again, about the bottom of the hour, about 11:30 or so, warm front just off to our south. A lot of isobars on the map this morning. Strengthening low pressure out across parts of lower Michigan is creating a lot of pressure gradient winds that are, independent of thunderstorm activity. It's just generally windy. And you'll notice the wind direction here. We still have southeasterly winds for the time being, but they'll become more south to southwesterly, and that's a warmer wind direction. As we get into the afternoon today, let's plot up the temperatures. And you can see that the warmer temperatures are certainly off to our south. It's already getting up to into the 60s as nearby as Steubenville, Wheeling, heading down towards Charleston, Parkersburg, Marietta as well, Columbus, heading for 60 at about noon. We will see the 60s in the Mahoning and Shenango valleys, I should say, as we go into the afternoon today. Let's look at one model depiction of the radar as we go forward. The clock times are in the corner of your screen. I'll make sure I'm in the picture here. And we expect showers to become a little more numerous again as we head towards midday and especially into the afternoon. Some of us had some gusty showers and storms in the pre-dawn hours today. It's been pretty quiet ever since. But as we get into the afternoon, a scattering of showers is what we expect, and the chance for thunderstorms will start to increase after about 1:30 or 2. This is 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock this afternoon. And this is kind of right in the middle of the window, I think, where we could see some potentially bumpy weather across far eastern Ohio, western PA, the panhandle of West Virginia. The window for severe weather is not going to be very long. It's going to be a couple hours at most, say between 2 and 4 roughly. So around 3 o'clock, it's going to be an isolated or scattered kind of a thing, but if you get under a heavier shower or a storm, not only could you have a pretty intense downpour, you could certainly get some strong winds. But again, even outside of any showers and storms this afternoon, it'll be generally quite windy. The threat for thunderstorms will then quickly diminish. Real quickly, let's take a look at the modeled wind gusts here. The little numbers may be a little hard to read, but generally 45, 50, 55 miles per hour will be a good bet for a handful of hours. I think the wind will not totally, really noticeably diminish until a couple hours after sunset. Even as late as 8 or 9 this evening, it's still quite windy. After that, the wind will diminish as we go through the overnight. So one thing we can look at when we talk about our storm threat this afternoon is, not only just general winds, but there's enough wind shear, enough changing of the wind direction and speed with height that we may have to be on the lookout for some rotating showers and storms this afternoon. Here's a high-resolution depiction of some model rotation tracks. This doesn't mean this is where tornadoes are going to be or anything, but the model depiction of where things might be rotating somewhat as we get into the afternoon today. You can see that the most numerous tracks are across northwest PA and southwest New York. That may be where the strongest signal is, but there's a few out there. And so the bottom line for this afternoon, it's going to be really windy generally, but we can't rule out still an isolated tornado, and for good reason. The Storm Prediction Center does have eastern Ohio, the panhandle of West Virginia, western PA, southwestern New York highlighted in a non-zero tornado risk. Non-zero meaning very low, but certainly not zero. It's probably somewhere on the order of 1, 2, 3, maybe 4% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of any location this afternoon. But again, general wind independent of thunderstorms, and also a potential burst of wind with any thunderstorms. That would be a primary threat this afternoon. The dark green here, if you think of our severe weather scale, the general scale is a 1 to 5 scale. We're in that low end 1 or marginal risk in most of our TV viewing area as we go into the second half of the day today. So it's an afternoon to stay weather aware. If we do have some severe weather, we'll keep you covered, of course, online. We'll break into programming on the TV side if we have any tornado warnings this afternoon. We don't want to, throw around the tornado word all that carelessly, but it's one of those days where we just can't rule out something popping up that tries to spin as we go into the afternoon. But be ready for some scattered power outages this afternoon, because again, even if you stay dry, you're probably going to see a wind gust at some point of 50 to 55 miles per hour, especially second half of the afternoon and early this evening. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great rest of your Saturday.